All right. Kaira te omathetai, pos ekita temeron. Pos ekita, how are you? Pos, how. Ekita, which is the verb echo, and used adverbally, with an adverb, means how are you? It means sort of like the verb to be in English. Kalos, kalaroe,
Yep.
kalos, e kakos. Kalos, maraski. All right, noon. We are working through ergadzomata. We're working through to proton anagnosma, the first reading. Okay? And we started to go through this yesterday. So thrasus stomu kai mithridatus anataore ta probata elanonton. Podokyros epaidzen metaton alon helikon ton en tei kome oikunton. Ara ekete eratemata. Te esta, kalaroi.
The part in, so we got through most of the first sentence with the part with the word elikon. I couldn't understand how to fit that with the rest of the sentence.
Okay. Helikon, right here. Helikon. Tissemane helikon.
As big as?
Not as, well, big in terms of age.
Okay, so as
Okay.
old as.
As old as, okay, so contemporaries. So we talked about this part being a genitive absolute.
Yeah.
So, paraphrase parakulo kalaroe.
While versus demos and Mithridates were driving
Very good.
the cattle up the mountains.
Up the mountains. Kalos. Podokyros, erku parakulo. Continue. Go.
So Cyrus was playing
Was playing excellent.
with his other contemporaries
With the other contemporaries. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
of the village,
Namely those.
and namely those.
Okay, so this is in a attributive position. Okay, the ones
The ones
tones
living
living
in the village.
in the village. Kalasta. Kai hoi paedes, paedzontes, helonto, curon, heauton, basilea enai. Erotemata?
So I understand what all those words are. I just didn't know how to fit them.
Okay, well, what's the subject?
Children.
The antithema, the hoi paedes, okay? And what's the verb?
There are many. There's.
Well, there's one finite
Okay.
verb.
Well,
There's one main verb.
is it anai or is it?
Well, enai is what kind of,
Is that an infinitive?
it's an infinitive.
Okay, so elonto.
Helonto, very good. Helonto.
And then is podzontes also other type word?
Well, it has verbal characteristics.
Yeah, verb type. So
So-
is it a participle?
It's a participle,
Okay.
right? Paedzontes, okay? And it's from the same verb, paedzo,
That we saw.
that we saw right here.
Yeah.
Okay?
So the children were playing, like took, like seized,
Yeah. How about selected?
selected. Okay.
And note that it's in the middle voice, okay? Selected for themselves. Okay. This is from Hyreo, right? Hyreso, Helon.
So selected for themselves, achieve
Kyros,
of two
they
Cyrus.
selected
selected Cyrus.
Cyrus to be
Cyrus to be like a king,
the king
the king of them.
of themselves,
For
okay?
themselves.
For themselves. Heauton, this is a reflexive that refers back to the subject of the sentence, right?
Yeah.
To be their king. To be their king.
All right.
Gymnostica, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So Marie, do you wanna take us through those first two sentences?
Okay. Just translate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Verse,
Thrasustamos,
verse somos.
which means, what does it mean?
Just from the loud.
Stoma means opening her mouth, right?
I mean,
Stoma.
doesn't it mean like loud mouth?
Well,
Bold.
brash,
Brash.
bold
Yeah,
mouth,
bold
bold talker, okay? Thrasustamos, okay?
Okay, so it's genitive. So while
Uh-huh. Good.
the systemos
Uh-huh.
and wait, how do you say so?
Mithridates.
Mithridates
Mithridates in the nominative case, okay? Mithridates.
were driving
Uh-huh, very good.
the herd.
Uh-huh.
What does Aman?
Ana means up,
Okay. And then just up the mountain.
up the mountains, up the mountains.
Okay, mountains.
The plural, ta'ore. So it's to oros, to orus, okay? Because the stem is ore, right? And this is you might have learned this as a third conjugation noun, okay? So ore plus os of the genitive ending, as in pais, paidos. Okay? This thing, the epsilon and the omicron, they combine, they contract into an omicron epsilon, orus, okay, orus. And the plural is ore, okay, that's the stem, and the accusative plural of this declension is an alpha. And in Herodotus, this is what you would see. You would see aurea. But these combine together, these contract into an eta. Okay? And the other nouns that we've encountered that decline like this are the word epos, to say mane epos, to epos.
A story?
A word?
A word, literally the word, a word, okay, epos, from which we get epic, right? And to ethos, to say mane to ethos.
Where did we see it?
Kalaroe, ara e, ekosa etheia, gegovia.
Yeah, can you write it out?
Ara,
Question.
ara e,
You.
you,
Are you?
ekosa ethe, gegovia.
Okay. You.
Mhm,
Equisa is.
mhm.
I'm not.
Mhm.
I'm 21.
Ekosa kai, so ekosa kai, this is 21, would be ekosa kai hen,
And,
ekosa kai hen. Okay, kala stuff. All right. So ethos, to say my name, ethos,
Year.
year, Augusta. All right. And Theikos. Theikos, to say my name, Theikos. Wall. Very good. Okay, so continue, Marie. So while Thrasystamos and Mithridates were driving the herd Anatore up the hill, up the mountains,
Cyrus
of the Kyros,
played.
played or was playing, right?
Is Meta with?
With,
With the other.
very good. With the other,
What is Helicon?
helikos means of the same age. It's an adjective. Okay, so this is an adjective used as a noun. Okay, with the others of his age, the other children, the ones who oikundon.
Isn't Orkia like house or something?
It is. So oikos, hoikos means a house. Okay. Hey oikia. Oikia can mean a house too. Okay. These can both refer to the physical object of the house, but they can also refer metonymically to the people who inhabit a household. So the closest thing we have to a family, what we would call a family today, is an oikia.
So with that.
But this is the verb, okay? Oikeo. Oikeo, okay, so oikesa.
Living.
Who were living, right?
Who were
Very good.
living in the village.
In the village, Kalista. Okay, keep going.
And the children
Very good.
playing selected
Excellent.
Cyrus
Very good.
to be.
To be very good. Ani.
What is
Auton. Okay, so autos, aute, and auto. Auto is the word we use for the third person pronoun. Okay, he, she, it. The epsilon that goes in front of that, this autos, this is also used, we use it as a third person pronoun for things in what we call oblique cases, that is not the nominative, okay? So this is for Marie, because Marie is learning her cases, okay? So we have, let's go to whiteboard. So hypnosis, okay, is the word for case. Okay? It literally means a push. Hypnosis means a push, and just like in Latin, case, casus, is a falling. Okay, so you can think about this as so the case is really a falling away from some sort of, basic position, okay? I know it's kind of a crazy way of thinking about it, but that's how the grammarians thought about it, so case. And ptosis means a pushing, okay, a pushing. So think of this as a case, you can think of the nominative, and it gets pushed into the genitive, dative, accusative, or however you want to see that, okay? So ptosis is the word which the Roman grammarians translate as casus, case, from which we get the word case. And there was the onomastike, okay, onomastike. This comes from this ike ending is the adjectival ending, okay? And the first part of it, onoma, comes from to onoma, which means noun or name, okay? Exactly as in the Roman equivalent is we take the nomen, okay? Okay, in its nominative case, nomen, and we add the ative ending on that, nominative, okay? This is the word for name or noun in Latin. So then we have he geneke, ptosis. Okay, this is from genos, which forms a stem of gignomai, for example. I become gignomai, from which we get the word genos. Incidentally, another togenos is another noun that's declined just like ethos and epos, genos. And of course, in Latin, they have the same cognate, which is gen, okay? And we add the itive ending genitive, the genitive. And then we have the dotike. The dotike, ptosis. This do comes from the stem that we see in didoma. And in Latin, it's going to be do, okay, as in do data, dedidatum, okay, I give. So from the fourth principal part, datus baum, that which is given, okay, so we have dative, okay, the dative. And then we have the itia ptosis, okay? This itia is a noun, hey itia. Oh, let's see. Means the cause of something, okay? The cause or the origin of something, okay? And in Latin, if we assign blame to something, right, we accuso, okay? So accus, okay, the accusative. So the Latin nouns and terms that we use typically as our language of grammatical description are in fact translations of the Greek system as the Greek grammarians developed it. Okay, yeah.
When's like the earliest we have of like the Greeks using these terms to refer to like cases and such?
He's the earliest. That's a good question. I mean, these concepts, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is sort of pre-Socratic, that they were already talking about these. The pre-Socratics were thinking about the structure of language, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so there we are. So just a couple of things. Ana is a preposition. Ana, okay, and the preposition, the Greek word for preposition is pro, as in prep, okay, pre, and thesis, prothesis, okay. This thesis comes from the verb tenema, okay, which is the equivalent of the Latin pono, okay, high place. So a preposition, okay, is the same thing as a prothesis. And ana always takes the itiatike, the ptosis. Meta, on the other hand, meta can take either the accusative, itiatike, in which it means what? Meta means what with the accusative?
With. Or
No.
mom.
No, that's with the genitive, with the genitive, just like we see here. He was playing with
Okay.
Is it
his
about?
contemporatives. What's that?
About?
No, it's pera.
It's like over, but in
No,
the
no,
metaphorical sense.
phone, no. Well, meta plus accusative after.
After.
Meta, metatauta, after these things. Okay? All right, very good. Nun hodde auton dietaxa tus men, oikias, oikodomein, tus da doruforus enai, ton da putina auton ophthalmon basileos enai, toida tas angelias feren edidu geras, hos hekastoi ergon prostason. All right. Ara ekita, erotemata. Okay.
Translation of oikodomain.
Oikodomein. So we can see in this oikos, right?
Right. It is an infinitive, correct?
Oikos. It is an infinitive, right? Oikodomein. So oikodomeo comes from means building.
Building.
Okay.
The part that I was confused about is how to fit. So the subject is stole the children.
Well, ho, not hoi.
So now it's he.
He,
Okay.
and he would be
Cyrus.
Cyrus,
He
Kalasta.
appointed
He appointed
some of them.
some of them, tus men, excellent, tus men, tus da, ton da,
To
Some to build houses.
some to build houses, right? Very good.
Some to be spear bearing.
Some to be spear bearers, kalasta,
Some
to be the eyes.
and one, and so here we got Putina. Putina. Now this is, so Herodotus is talking about Cyrus, who is recreating essentially the court of the Persian king of the Basileus, right? And one of the most unusual or characteristic offices of the court is the ophthalmos, okay, what they call in this, the Greeks parodied this all the time, okay, that the king has an eye, okay, well, the ophthalmos. And so he says, ton da putina. So here's saying, and one, pu, I suppose, someone, okay, because he's thinking that Cyrus is recreating the Persian court, he would say, well, and then of course there would have to be someone to be the ophthalmon, okay?
doesn't poo normally mean where?
Pu, yes, pu with an accent, pu means where?
Who without this perhaps?
Pu is without is perhaps, right? Ton putina auton, and I suppose one of them, enai,
To be
of the ophthalmon,
The eye.
basileos,
the eye of the king.
the eye of the king, hoi,
Who
to whom
to whom?
he edidu,
See?
well, it's from didoma,
Gave.
Gave.
gave, to whom he gave the geras,
Prize.
prize, the honor of feren,
Bearing
bearing tas angelias,
the messages.
the messages.
It's the singular nominative of Angelias.
Angelia.
Angelia.
Yeah. So then.
So in this way, hos, prostason. Here you can see tasso is the verb that you see here.
So choose before.
Appoint.
Assigning, prostason, assigning an ergon,
A job.
a job, and kastoi. To each one.
To each one.
To each one.
Is it assigning or to assign?
Assigning. So it's a present active participle.
And how is the host being used?
So in this way,
Oh, in this way.
and so assigning, okay, we would say, and so assigning to each one a job.
So you couldn't take that as purpose, right? Because
It's not purpose because
it's not a
it's not a
future.
future
it's
participle.
present. Okay.
It's a present participle, right?
So.
But good
not-
thinking. Post plus a participle, you're thinking it could be purpose, but it's not a future participle.
So it's not for the purpose of.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good, all right, so let's go through that whole sentence all together here. Okay. Hoda
So he
and he
Appointed
appoints.
appointed the Yatkasa,
to some
upon
Some of them
some of them
to build
To build.
houses.
to build houses, Kalasta,
Others
others
to be spear bearing or spear bearers.
spear bearers, Kalos,
and
And one,
someone
and someone, okay, someone,
I
to
suppose,
be
I suppose,
the eye of the king.
to be the eye of the king, very good.
to whom
To whom? Kalasta,
he gave
uh-huh,
the
The job.
the
the
honor
honor,
of
To
bearing
bear
or
to bear
the messages.
the messages, okay?
so that in
So,
this way.
In this way,
uh,
giving
Uh-huh,
a job
uh-huh.
to each one.
To which one? Kalasta. Haste day, kind of an intensified form of duh, right? Haste day, and as it turns out, day, and wouldn't you know it, okay? Day, it's not just and, but and, a little bit there, and wouldn't you know it, okay? It so happened, haste tuthon.
Is this another genitive absolute?
No, haste.
Oh, haste.
This is from haste,
like,
mia, hen,
one
one
of them,
of them, of the
of the children.
children, sum paidonton,
Playing together
who was playing together, right? That one
was
child,
that
one was the child of Artembares.
Artemis?
Artembares, okay? So this is Artembares, same
Just a
ending. Yeah, just a name. Same declension as Mithridates, Artembares. It so happens that one of those children who were playing was the child of Artembares and Andros Dokimu.
a learned man.
Well, not a learned man, but a person of reputation, okay? Doxa, this is related to, from dokeo, right?
Mhm.
Dokeo, from which we get the word doxa, for example. Oops, doxa, as in orthodoxy. Dokeo means I seem, okay? So a seemly man, a man of
It's like
reputation.
an apparent.
Dokimu in Meidoisa,
And
Among the Medes.
among the Medes, right? Among the Medes. And you remember that we've got these two groups, the Medes and the Parisai, right? Or maybe you don't know that
how do you
yet.
spell the Medes?
Medes, Medes.
Okay, cool.
Is Cyrus is a Mede, right?
He is a median boy.
He is.
He is, But you remember, well, let's see, he is a medium boy, but as it turns out, his father is Persian. His mother, the daughter of the king, is a Mede. Okay. How many of you read, incidentally, do you know Robert Heinlein? Do you have any science fiction fans here? The Foundation trilogy. The Foundation trilogy has a character in it called the Mule, and the Foundation trilogy is based on Herodotus.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, you should read it. It's really very interesting. Because Cyrus is a mule, right?
Yeah.
Metaphorically, a
Yeah.
mule, because he's a hybrid.
Yeah.
He's half Mede, half Persian. Okay, so so it just so happens that one of these children who were playing together was the child of Artabares, a man of reputation among the Medes, Kai,
And
and Uepoesa
is that from Poeo?
from Poiao, right?
And he did not
You did not make or
do
do
that which
that which
is that passive?
it is passive. This is an aorist passive participle.
That way he was assigned
The thing that had been assigned
by Cyrus.
by Cyrus from Cyrus, right? This is from Tasso. So we can actually get the principal parts of Tasso, right? Tasso, Toxo. Here's the aorist, etoxa. Etoxa. Tog. Tetaka, okay, as in perfect. Togni. Perfect. And talk thing is the aorist passive.
So in diatoxa that you have circled up there.
Yep.
Is that dia plus etoxa and
Yes.
the alpha just drops out?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's
I
get
think
one.
Cyrus is not gonna like that.
Cyrus is not going to like this. Houn kuros ekelua. Therefore,
Cyrus.
Cyrus ekelua. From kelua.
Where did we see that?
Oh, we've seen it quite a few times.
Call?
Call, he ordered.
Is it from Kaleo?
No.
Oh.
It's from kelua.
Oh, Kaleo.
He ordered tus alus
To the other
aidas.
children.
He ordered the other children to Ialabe
See through.
to seize through or to take auton.
Him.
To seize him.
Okay.
Cyrus.
And so we got a genitive absolute here
Right.
with the bides, with the children,
Pursue.
well, pathomenon, not pursuing. Patho, to say mane patho, I persuade. So in the,
Persuading the children.
well, note this is middle passive.
So with the
okay?
children
The
being
children being
Persuaded.
persuaded or the children
persuading for themselves.
obeying.
Obeying.
Okay, with the children obeying, kuros.
Cyrus.
Okay, so this is a little bit of a preface. Periespa, he dealt with, he handled Tombaida,
The child.
the child, karata tracheos, very roughly. Mastigon.
With a whip.
Whipping, yeah.
Understood him.
Yeah, Tom Fida. So he handled the boy very roughly, whipping. Okay, whipping we would say whipping. Right? Kyla's done. All right, that's all for today. We'll continue this tomorrow.
Where are we meeting?